soaring consumer prices, mounting debt, and threats of an economic slowdown. These are just some of the challenges that await the Marcos economic team. How can this administration navigate through multiple health and economic crises? Let's speak now with BPI lead economist Neri. June, thank you so much for joining us. Let's listen first on the president's inaugural speech on how he wants to tackle the economy challenged by the pandemic and the conflict in Eastern Europe.
Drawing up a comprehensive, all-inclusive plan for economic transformation. We will build back better by doing things in the light of the experiences that we have had, both good and bad.
So, June, what the president said earlier, does this give you a clearer view of what he wants to achieve for the economy?
Well, Rico, it's a very broad set of statements, and understandably because it's his inaugural speech. We have heard from the economic managers, however, the key areas that they want to address when they start the administration.
So what should be the priorities in your view of the economic team led by Finance Secretary Ben Jokno to jumpstart the economy and to bring down prices?
Well, jump-starting the economy, of course, requires that the low-hanging fruits on the programs to spend on infrastructure and get the budget balanced faster. No? Not necessarily balanced, but a smaller deficit target. No? I think the key priorities will be essentially to continue with the reforms put in place by the current administration with the core objective of getting a higher credit rating, Rico, which means a lot of things actually.
And we currently have a massive debt, June, of almost 13 trillion pesos. How do you think we'll be able to pay this off? How will this be serviced? Higher taxes, a more efficient tax collection? What needs to be done?
Well, first of all, we have to avoid populist policies, Rico. No? Those that will make the credit rating agencies think that the fiscal situation will not be sustainable. Well, one of the, I guess, important elements is that build will have to be supplemented by PPP, Rico, because we can no longer afford to have government spend everything on infrastructure. No? So this was the emphasis of the previous administration and very light on the PPP. So incoming Secretary Balisacan is quite clear that he wants PPP to supplement build precisely to avoid this big debt buildup. Because if we keep on focusing on government money to make all of this infra possible, it will not be viable, Rico. It will make the budget even less manageable.
When you say PPP, that is private-public partnership, a collaboration between the private and the public sector for most of the infrastructure projects that will be undertaken by this administration. Jude, let's listen in to what President Marcos said on food self-sufficiency.
Food sufficiency must get the preferential treatment the richest free trade countries always gave their agricultural sectors. Their policy boils down to don't do as we do. Do what we tell you to.
The President, June, is also the Agriculture Secretary. What in his powers can he do for food self-sufficiency for the nation?
Again, number one, avoid all of those populist policies of lowering prices. No? Of course, we have to use technology and harness digital technology, Rico, to be able to maximize and very quickly get the sector moving. No? Of course, mechanizing agriculture, which has always been our aspiration, hopefully will not take the backseat again in the budget, which is very heavy on again all of these items that are popular in nature. No? So, of course, we will have to set aside a lot of money on subsidizing people for transport costs, no? Because of the high oil prices coming and energy prices coming from higher coal. No? We are worried that it will not be given enough attention. No? Same with education and human capital, which could take also the backseat if the budget is not managed very well.
Thank you so much for your outlook on the Marcos Presidency Economic Plan, BPI lead economist June Neri. And more news